Following them off, the aggressive shape of the Messerschmitt Bf the whole of the early war period, including the Battle of Britain, the Bristol Blenheim. We'll be back to display with us shortly. Dive in from our left to open the first part of our Battle of Britain's 75th anniversary tribute. We have the Messerschmitt Bf provided to us by the Airbus Group and the Flugmuseum Messerschmitt. Single seafighter of the Luftwaffe during the Battle of Britain period, though then it was the earlier Bf-109E and F models, the MU and the Friedrich, that held sway. Luftwaffe tactics had been developed in combat on the fascist side during the Civil War in Spain of 1936 to 39. Bf-109 pilots would fly in pairs, known in German as a Rotter. Historian Robert Forsyth, each pilot watched the sky to monitor his path to the blind area behind the pillar. Once engaged in combat, the wingman watched spreading the aircraft attacking from behind, thus allowing his leader to focus on his intended target. By contrast, the RAF tactics of the early war period were far more inflexible, but commanders and pilots soon learned to adapt. Close escorts from the series of Battle of Britain, until Vice Marshal Hermann Goering, commander of the Luftwaffe, ordered them to row more freely in an offensive role. Then August changed back to the old system. Less effective against their RAF counterparts. Bf-110 was itself an exceptionally potent asset for the Luftwaffe during the summer of 1940. What we saw there was a former Spanish-built Hispano Buchón, which used to be engined with a Rolls-Royce Merlin, but has recently, during a restoration by the Messerschmitt Aircraft Company of Altstadt-Bielefeld in Germany, been re-engined, carrying the type's traditional Daimler-Benz DB605 power plant. A sound lost from British skies for many years until this aircraft made its British debut at RIAT 2010, and it's come back to the UK for a short tour this year. Provided to us by its current owners and operators, the Messerschmitt Stiftung, the Messerschmitt Foundation, and and the Flugmuseum Messerschmitt, both operated in conjunction with the Airbus Group and based at Manching in Bavaria. Now, running in from our right, the Bristol Blenheim 1F. The owner told the Daily Mail he wanted a new high-speed personal transport aircraft. The Bristol Aircraft Company did the honours, and Rothermere later presented it to the nation under the name Britain First. But no wonder the Air Ministry was interested, because that aeroplane was faster than many of the contemporary frontline fighters and bombers, and the decision was taken to adapt it as a new light bomber. It was ordered for the RAF as the Blenheim 1. As such, it was delivered first to number 114 Squadron at Whitton near Huntingdon in March 1937, where it replaced the Hawker Hind. To give you an idea of the performance advance, the Hind's top speed was just 186 miles an hour, that of the Blenheim 260. Though when the potential was seen in it as a new long-range fighter also. Built incidentally by the workshops of the Southern Railway in Ashford. It became the Blenheim 1F, which came to use the number 25 Squadron in December 1938, and following recent restoration after a landing incident at Duxford in 2003, this Blenheim has been reconfigured from its former long-nosed Blenheim 4 status into just such a Blenheim 1F. War broke out on the 3rd of September 1939. More Blenheims were in RAF service than any other type, and some of the earliest RAF actions of the war involved Blenheims. For example, aircraft from RAF Wattisham in Suffolk carried out Bomber Command's first raid of the war on the 4th of September 1939. They attacked the German fleet in port at Wilhelmshaven. Losses were grievous, and to some extent that set the tone for what was to follow. That just a few years before was considered very primitive, was now vulnerable to enemy fighters. During the Battle of Britain, Blenheim 1Fs were used heavily. Their daylight losses were serious, so they increasingly switched to the night intruder and night fighter roles. Some of them from mid-1940 onwards were fitted with the new airborne intercept radar, the AI Mark III unit, and they began achieving nighttime successes. This aircraft returned to flight in November last year thanks to the efforts of the Aircraft Restoration Company at IWN Duxford and the Blenheim volunteer team. A large amount of rework and reconfiguration was required to turn the aircraft into the Blenheim 1F we now see here. Once again, it becomes the sole airworthy Blenheim, or indeed Bolingbroke, because this was built by Fairchild in Canada and a Bolingbroke in the world. Has been attached to crucial supply convoys making their way across the channel defended by the RAF. The Straits of Dover became known at that time as Hellfire Corner. On the 10th of July 1940, these attacks and the air battles that followed reached a new intensity. That date 75 years ago last Friday is generally regarded as the start of the Battle of Britain. One of the crucial men to the outcome of the battle was Air Chief Marshal Sir Hugh Dowding, Air Officer Commanding-in-Chief of RAF Fighter Command. In reflecting on it, he wrote,
"The battle may be said to have divided itself broadly into 4 phases. First, the attack on convoys and coastal objectives such as ports, coastal aerodromes, and radio location stations. Second, the attack on inland fighter aerodromes. Third, the attack on London. Fourth, the fighter-bomber stage, where the target was in importance quite subsidiary to the main object of drawing our fighters into the air and engaging them in circumstances as disadvantageous to us as possible.
Try as it might, the Luftwaffe failed to strike the decisive blow. The formation of aircraft from both sides of the battle that we see running in now from our right. You can see that a Spitfire and a Buchón, representing the Messerschmitt Bf 109, main German single-seat fighter of the battle, have broken off their own display while the rest of the formation team positions. Two famous adversaries from 75 years ago, reunited in friendlier times. BBC often carried reports on aerial engagements during the battle. This one, 14th July 1940, was broadcast by correspondent Charles Gardner.
There's 1, 2, 3, I will look at the dog flight going up there. There's 4, 5, 6 machines wheeling and turning around. Now, hundreds of machine guns going. It's hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, there's something coming right down on the tail of another. There they go. Now they're being taken. 3, 6, 5, 6 now. Oh, look out the going, and look how the rest. Hey, that is really bad. And look, the Spitfires up behind the first two. He'll get them. Oh, yes. Oh, boy, I've never seen anything so good as this. The RAF fighters have really got these boys dead. Our machine is catching up the Messerschmitt now. It's catching it up. It's got the legs of it, you know. Now, right in fact, now go on, George. You've got it. No, this was a bit deceptive from here. But
here we see that scenario reversed, as for the moment, Buchón is on the tail of the Spitfire. Buchón being the Spanish license-built version of the Bf 109, powered by a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine that's so representative and so evocative of the original. The first phase of the battle, strike against convoys and coastal targets, importantly did not break the RAF. Fighter aircraft stations and the radar installations that were so important for the conduct of the battle began on the 12th of August. They later came up with a large Eagle Day, a concerted effort to knock out Britain's hard-work defences. Yet even these heavy, damaging strikes could not win the day. The outstanding efforts to repair badly bombed fighter bases such as Kenley, Deptford, Hornchurch and Biggin Hill, combined with the sterling work done in coordinating and carrying out aircraft production to make good combat losses, were instrumental in achieving a successful outcome in winning the Battle of Britain. Look out on the 45-degree line to the left, coming in once again for another flypast, our mass fighter formation. Formation out of the way, our two dogfighters run in once more, this time the Spitfire chasing the Buchón. On the 7th of September 1940, the Luftwaffe turned its attention to London. Now the German High Command believed it could finally make the decisive breakthrough. Yet again, Fighter Command regroups. A few years ago, Battle of Britain fighter pilot Tony Pickering, who flew Hurricanes with number 501 Squadron at Gravesend, recalled his experiences of encountering a German raid.
Going in we saw in the distance you see a big black above them you could see the 109s as they were turning and twisting above the bombers to protect. And he would take us in on these head-on attacks, which we hoped we could get there before the 109s would come down onto us to protect their bombers, and invariably we would, because we'd go in and a head-on attack. You'd go straight through the bombers, you'd fire your guns. If there was any knockdown, of course the senior blokes would claim them, and down you go. That was it. You'd then be attacked by these 109s, and you'd have to looking after yourself then, because every man really for himself then.
Today, we commemorate the 15th of September as Battle of Britain Day. In 1940, it saw the heaviest Luftwaffe raid that summer. The target, London. This was the crucial day, the day on which Fighter Command scored a decisive victory. The day that led Hitler to postpone indefinitely his invasion plans.
Here is the midnight view, and this is Alman Reno. After 7 o'clock, 175 German aircraft have been destroyed in today's raid over the country. Today was the most costly German Air Force has ever offered. In daylight raid, between 350 and 400 enemy aircraft were launched in 2 attacks against London on Southeast England, about half of them were shot down. It was a victory announced by 10 o'clock tonight. 175 raiders were known to have been destroyed by our fighters and anti-aircraft guns.
No wonder we remember the few, the nearly 3,000 men who served with RAF Fighter Command between the 10th of July and 31st of October 1940. No wonder we remember the many, thousands more of them, the ground crew, the support personnel, the strategists, the scientists, the men and women in the aircraft factories, the people who were equally instrumental in achieving victory. No wonder we pay this tribute today. of the few, official figures show that 574 pilots from countries outside the UK served during the battle. Men from Poland, New Zealand, Canada, Czechoslovakia, Belgium, Australia, South Africa, France, Ireland, the United States, Southern Rhodesia, Barbados, Jamaica, Newfoundland and Northern Rhodesia. This weekend at RIAT, we're pleased to welcome representatives from several of those nations and see warbirds from this formation and on static display in the markings of the foreign manned squadrons. Pilots from the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy, also represented at the show, played their part, to say nothing of the other RAF commands that contributed. Here we see the first aircraft from the Flypast coming into land. And it was led by an aircraft that's a true veteran of the Battle of Britain, one of two such aeroplanes in the formation. That's the Mark IIA Spitfire of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Serial R4118, which was delivered 75 years ago yesterday, the 18th of July 1940, to a maintenance unit at RAF Fairford in Cumbria. And with the remaining aircraft coming to land, we should reflect also on how this ties in with our Securing the Skies Past, Present and Future theme at RIAT 2015. And Group Captain Mark Manwaring has an example of one of the few that he will agree is quite exceptional. Of the 14 overseas nations that contributed to RAF Fighting Command during the Battle of Britain, 10 pilots came from Southern Ireland. Arguably the most famous of those was Wing Commander Brendan Finucane, or Paddy Finucane, as he was affectionately known. Paddy was born in Dublin in 1920. The first experienced flight was an air show at the Irish Air Corps base in Baldock in 1932, aged just 12. Captivated by this experience, he joined the Royal Air Force in 1938, aged just 17, the youngest age possible. After training, he was posted to RAF Fairford in June of 1940 and took up a place as a line pilot on number 65 Corps. During the early days, he could be seen hanging around the dispersal. And it was the extra flying that he got here that he attributed later on to his survival of the Battle of Britain. Indeed, his first kill in the Battle of Britain came on the 12th of August. A Bf-109, followed the very next day by a further Bf-109. In 1941, he was promoted to squadron leader, took command of number 452 Squadron. In 1942, he was promoted to the rank of Wing Commander, aged just 21 years old. A record that is unlikely ever to be broken again. He then took command of the legendary Hornchurch Wing, his Spitfire marked with his trademark green shamrock. By then, he'd been awarded the DSO, the DSC with 2 bars, and had amassed an amazing 32 confirmed kills. Sadly, whilst on patrol over France, his Spitfire was hit by ground fire, and on the 15th of July 1942, he was lost when his aircraft ditched into the channel. However, he is commemorated along with the other 3,000 total aircrew that took part in the Battle of Britain, the 544 who lost their lives during that campaign, and the 814 who were killed on other ops before the end of the war. It is commemorated at the Battle of Britain Memorial at Capel Firth near Folkestone in Kent, at the Battle of Britain Monument on the Victoria Embankment in London, and finally he is honoured at the Irish Air Corps base, Balfour, near Dublin, where he was first captivated by aircraft and the concept of flight as a 12-year-old boy. This one-man story of the 3,000 collectively known as the Refused. From this tribute is to thank the operators and the pilots who took part in the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight who coordinated it all. Peter Basher, the historic Flight Foundation, the Hangar 11 collection, the Biggin Hill Heritage Hangar, the Old Flying Machine Company, Spitfire Limited, the Aircraft Restoration Company, Rolls-Royce, Kenneth Aviation, and the Flugmuseum Messerschmitt. The pilots were Squadron Leader Dunk Mason, Dave Harvey, John Sessions,